Look at Matthew chapter 25. In Matthew 25, beginning in 35, Jesus says this: I was hungry, and you gave me food. I was thirsty, and you gave me drink. I was a stranger. Did you catch that? I was a stranger, and you took me in. I was naked, and you clothed me. I was sick, and you visited me. I was in prison, and you came to me. Then the righteous will answer him and say, the just, those who understand the justice of God, will say to him, when, Lord, did we see you hungry and feed you, or thirsty and give you drink? When did we see you a stranger and take you in, or naked and clothe you? When did we see you sick or in prison and come to you? And the king will answer and say unto them, assuredly I say to you, inasmuch as you did it to one of the least of these my brethren, you did it to me. Now, maybe we can start to see this age-old gospel story, because we've all heard this story. Maybe we can start to see it through a new lens. That Jesus says from the voice of a king to his servants. Do you catch that? The king, that's the highest of the high. The king says to the subjects, you guys took me in when I was a stranger. You clothed me when I was naked. You fed me when I was hungry. You gave me medicine when I was sick. And they said, King, your honor, your majesty, I would remember running into you. I mean, you have the long flowing robes and the scepter and the crown, and you sit on a throne. Trust me, this is the first time we've met. I've never known you before today. I've never seen you naked. I've never seen you hungry. Believe me, I would have rushed to put clothes on your back. Believe me, I would have rushed to give you food. I would have rushed to give you medicine. You needed help, I'm here for you. I love you. The truly just have already done it, because the king says, what you didn't understand was in my kingdom, my heart is in the man who is poor and naked and hungry and sick and a stranger. So when you did it to that guy, in effect, it's my kingdom. And whatever you do in my kingdom, you're doing to me. So the earth is the Lord's and the fullness thereof. His kingdom is above all other kingdoms. And therefore, whatever happens in this kingdom happens to me. So if you do it to the least of these, you do it to me. And I believe if as children of God, we will keep that mentality, we will go through life looking for opportunities to be the arm of the kingdom. Because we will realize that every encounter is not coincidental encounter, is not chance encounter. Maybe we run across people that there's nothing that we can do. But our default position should not be there's nothing I can do. Our default position should be there's something I can give in the kingdom, in this encounter that makes all of the difference in the world. And I don't believe this is something we have to squeeze effort into, but I do believe it's something we have to be made aware of. Now, why do I think we have to be made aware of it? Well, for one, Genesis made them aware of it. Leviticus made them aware of it. Matthew 5 made them aware of it. Matthew 10 made them aware of it. Matthew 25 made them aware of it. And Hebrews 12 and 13 made them aware of it. It sounds to me like God knows we need reminded that when the world shakes, we should let brotherly love continue, because it's going to be harder when the world's shaking. Oh, it's easy to love everybody when nothing's shaking. When everything's good and everyone I know agrees with me. Right? When everybody I know agrees with me, things seem better. Have you noticed that the greatest times in your life is when you didn't have those interpersonal conflicts? Because if I were to ask you, what's the greatest time in the world to be alive? If you could pick any time to be alive, did you know that a majority of people on the planet will pick a time when they were less than 10 years old? It doesn't even matter what year they were born in. So if you were born in 1940 and I go, what do you think is the best time to be alive in America? They go, about 1950. If I were to ask a kid born, this is a fact, this is a psychological fact. If you ask a kid born in 1980, what's the best time to be alive, you think, in the history of the world? They go, probably like 1990. That was really good. It was a really great time. You know why we do that? We're young. We're innocent. We have no responsibilities. We have no conflicts. We haven't met people we don't like yet. You know one of the biggest reasons we think the world's going to hell? Because we got a whole lot more people we don't agree with. There's a whole lot more people I don't really think are very smart. What's wrong with these idiots? What's wrong with this world? Why is everybody, here's what we say, why is everybody going crazy? Never noticed that? Not why am I going crazy while the rest of the world goes crazy. It's why is everybody going crazy? Are you going crazy? No, I'm wondering why everybody else is going crazy. When was the time when they weren't crazy? I don't know. Somewhat, when I was a kid, people weren't crazy. That ought to tell you something. Well, I don't know. When I was a kid, things seemed simpler. Well, yeah, they seemed simpler. You hadn't had time to run into people that disagreed with you, that didn't like you, that didn't approve of you. And then when you do, it seems like the world's a lot rougher place. Listen, as long as the world's not shaking, you're not going to need reminded to let brotherly love continue. Because it's easy. You don't have any conflicts. But when the world goes to hell around you, the Holy Spirit has to remind you, hey, let brotherly love continue.